Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's Timothy here, and we are back with a double dose of Masters 25 for this week. I enjoy this format enough that I'm willing to still experiment a little bit and play it while it's out. It's got a lot of interesting things going on. A lot of good cards, a lot of bad cards. Uh, our pack, though, I think I'm going to try Animar out. Animar is really sweet, and when do you ever get to play this card in Limited? Never is the answer, because it's never been in a limited set before. If you're not familiar with Animar, it's Teamer colors for a 1-1 with Pro White, Pro Black, which can already be good against some decks. Whenever you cast a creature, it gets a counter, and your creatures cost 1 less for each counter on it. So you kind of want to go in on morph creatures here, because once the Animar gets up to 3 counters, your morphs are all they're all completely free to cast face down, and then you can just worry about transforming them. This does have a pretty high color restriction, and I mean, what do we pass in? Counterspell, Disfigure, not much. Who knows? Like, yeah, if I end up not, playing Animar, then I don't play Animar, right? But if I do play Animar, it's kind of sweet. So along those lines, I am looking for morph creatures specifically, and the one that stands out to me here is Ire Shaman. I do like this card. There's also Cultivate, which can make 3 colors much more manageable. Cultivate basically makes your mana perfect. Chalice of the Void I do not have to take, because this is not a draft where money matters, although Animar and Chalice of the Void would make me very happy in real life. There's also Boros Charm, which is a very good card, but not what I'm going to take here since it branches me into the 4th color. And Counterspell, Cultivate are probably my follow-ups here. Mystic at the Hidden Way coming back would be nice, and I would love to grab some Cultivates, but having Morphs in general can help ease the trouble of a really greedy mana base. So, next pack up, we have another Myriad Landscape, which can really help splash colors, basically double fixes, although it only gets lands of the same type, like you can only get 2 forests or 2 mountains or 2 islands. Fetid Heath is not going to help us here at all. In fact, it's the 2 colors we're not looking to play at all. There's Stampede Driver, which I think is just okay. It's better in like these beatdown decks. There's an Arbor Elf, which might actually be my pick here. Or Mystic of the Hidden Way as well, but, I might get one of these Mystic of the Hidden Ways back. There's also Colossal Dreadmaw. You do want kind of like some big creatures, too, if you're going off with Animar. And I guess you also want ways to put +1/+1 counters on Animar, which I don't currently see anything in the pack that does that. So I'm just going to pick up Arbor Elf for ramp purposes. Wow, Thalia as well. Not picking up Thalia here. What we are picking up, though, is... Well, let's find out. It's not Isan Shade, I know that much. Might be Prophetic Prism or Fathom Seer, possibly even Ember Weaver. I haven't played Ember Weaver yet, but I mean, in red-green, it can't be bad, right? 3/3 reach with first strike seems like a pretty strong card. I think I'm going to pick up Prophetic Prism because I do like being able to cast all my spells. And sometimes this wheels in this format. It's not crazy good. The rest of the pack I'm not passing up on much. I'm passing up on Fathom Seer, which is good, but a lot better in a very heavy blue deck. So Prophetic Prism will be my pick. Following up the Prism with... Well, there's Pacifism as possibly the best card in the pack. There are 3 morphs here. There's Loxodon and Inox Survivalist and Cavern. There's also Perilous Myrrh. I don't think I'm going to take the Myrrh here. I'm not going to be like an all-in beatdown deck, although it's kind of sweet that you can just cast the Myrrh for free off of Animar as well. Balduvian Horde, not quite what I want. I think these sorts of formats are all about card advantage and one-up in your opponent. I don't want to be discarding my own cards, even if I can cast Balduvian Horde for potentially 2 mana. I think I might go with Loxodon here, although I do like having access to Survivalist in this format to take out things like Pacifism and, I don't know, Rancor doesn't seem like something to pass out. There's also Zoetic Cavern, which I don't have a lot of experience playing this card, and it doesn't seem great in this multicard deck, but I do like the Woolly Loxodon. This card does smash pretty hard. And it looks like I'm going to get another shot at a Survivalist. Genju was decent last time I played. It had some good matches and some bad matches. And it's not what I want for this sort of deck, though. Curse Catcher is not very good at all, to be honest. And that leaves us looking at Survivalist, Colossal Dreadmaw, and Fathoms here. Knight of the Skyward Aura is not what I'm going to play, and Primal Clay is As cool as it is with Animar, I don't think this is what I'm going to be playing either. Even though reducing this by 1 does make it a little bit better. Reducing it by more than 1 mana makes it great too, but I can't bank on always having it. I'm going to pick up Survivalist here. I like having the utility creature. Mishra's Factory. Accumulated Knowledge would be a good card to pick up here. Pyrehound does not have any spells to go with it yet. It's nice that we're seeing all possible teamer cards here. I could speculate on an Accumulated Knowledge. I do like having this. Otherwise, I'd be picking up, say, Nettle Sentinel, trying to be the beatdown or something along those lines. I'm going to be casting a lot of my creatures face down, though. I'm probably going to wheel a Primal Clay. I'm going to speculate on this Accumulated Knowledge. If I end up not playing like a Coral Home Guide or a Nettle Sentinel because of it, and I only have 1 Accumulated Knowledge, I think that's fine. Alright, not bad. We're still getting a bunch of teamer cards here. Could pick up Shoreline Ranger if I feel like splashing. Simian Spirit Guide, probably not a card you want in most limited decks unless you have a real plan for ramping something out. Or Wildheart Invoker, which is very strong if you get a lot of mana. Tons of Colossal Dreadmaws coming around. Which of these would I most likely want? Looks like I'm going to be very heavy green, which is fine. And Arbor Elf definitely helps. Arbor Elf helps with that. I'm going to take Wildheart Invoker. I'm going to take it. Oh, this kind of makes me wish I'd taken it because this is still just the best card in the pack. Ancient Stirrings. If I pick up some of those colorless creatures, I guess this gets a little bit better, but it's still not all that great. It does help you find your mana sources, which is nice. I don't really want Woe. I'm imagining I'm getting as many Primal Clays back as I want. I'm going to take Ancient Stirrings, but might not play it. Mystic of the Hidden Way coming back is sweet. Don't want Chalice of the Void here. So, yeah, let's go and pick that up. Choke and Tether is not going to be too great for us. Well, we got both Mystic of the Hidden Ways back. Do I want a Balduvian Horde? Probably not over a Mystic. I'd rather just have cards I can cast. Wow, Thalia Wheeling. That's kind of crazy. Nobody's playing like a white weenie deck. Thalia's strong. I'm also still not clear on whether morph creatures have a name. I don't think they do, so I don't think Echo and Courage works on morphs, but it might. I'm going to pick up Fathoms here regardless. Here, I'm just not in love with Choke and Tethers, so I'm going to take Balduvian Horde. Curse Catcher. Oh, we didn't get any Primal Clays back. Or Colossal Dreadmaws. So everybody at this table is just like green beatdown. Keep in mind, all of these creatures can fit in the 3-drop slot. Geez, will you stop, Moto? I get it. Alright? I really get it. But I'm not taking it. Our pick this time is probably going to be Merfolk Looter, which we are going to play this time, as opposed to the time where I could have drafted a perfectly fine blue deck, and I skipped over it for a Zadahedron Grinder and drafted some sort of nonsense. Myriad Landscape, Cultivate would be fine on the swing back, and actually Ambassador Oak seems sweet. Animar is cast, though, right? Yeah. So the 1/1 token doesn't help. There's also another Arbor Elf, but Merfolk Leader is gas. Quite literally. It's the definition of gas. Summoner's Pact. Summoner's Pact is only as good as the creatures in your deck. As cool as it is, I don't think it's what I want here. I actually kind of like Balos Null, to be honest, but the 4th color seems painful. I mean, I don't have to play Balduvian Horde, and I can have Animar and Ire Shaman as my only red creatures, one of which I can cast face down. Plus, I have Prophetic Prism and Ancient Stirrings. I do just have Murder of Crows in this pack, which is a card that fits in the colors without stretching it too much, and Murder of Crows is kind of ridiculous. Lets you trade off creatures for value, lets you kill your opponent's creatures for value. Just seems sweet. Murder of Crows, get in the deck. Hannah Ship's Navigator. Return an artifact or enchantment from your graveyard to your hand. Prophetic Prism's really all I've got. Alright, options here. Exclude is a card I like, but in a more controlling deck, which we're kind of just a creature deck. I could take the 2nd Accumulated Knowledge, another Survivalist, or Mana War. I think it's just going to be Mana War. Interaction is nice. Interaction is key. And Timberback Wolf is kind of a low-end playable here. I would take Accumulated Knowledge over pretty much anything else in the pack, but Mana War is a card I love having in my deck, especially against people who are putting auras on everything. Following that up, another shot at a Primal Clay, but the card's still just mediocre and totally lost being an interactive card. Matches of the Wheel actually seems sweet, especially if I can dump my hand with Mana War or something like that. just being able to draw into 7 new cards. And this is a little different than Wheel, or most Wheel effects, where you could actually use it on your opponent's turn and be the first person who gets access to 7 mana and a 3 mana 3/3. It's not like you ever have to activate the ability. You can just beat down with it. Lots of Arbor Elves, lots of Perilous Mirrors. Arcane Denial is not a counterspell I like in most of my decks, but go and pick up the Magus. Okay, Counterspell, Elvish Aberration, another Mystic, Thresher Lizard. Kind of mediocre Thresher Lizard. Counterspell's not great on the mana here, being double blue. I'm going to pick up Elvish Aberration. Forest Cyclone helps the deck, and this is a castable creature sometimes, so it's not too bad with Animar. I'm drafting a lot around Animar, but, you know, that's fine. I'm allowed to do that. Izzet Chemister is kind of a spellcasting card, and it's not very good even in heavy spell-based decks, which I am not. You can see I have only 3 non-creatures in the entire deck right now, one of them being like an Ancient Stirrings, and one of them being Accumulated Knowledge I might not even put in the deck in the first place, plus Prophetic Prism. So this card does nothing, but Fierce Empath does something, and I do like it. There's also Chartooth Cougar, which is similar to the Aberration. I could pick it for pretty much the same means, but Fierce Empath currently, it can fetch up Woolly Loxodon or Elvish Aberration. You know what? Chartooth Cougar might be better, but I can pick up 1 or 2 more cards like Chartooth Cougar. I'm going to pick Fierce Empath here as a way to just fetch up something like Woolly Loxodon. Oh, wow. There's a lot of stuff in this pack I want. Freed from the Real is not one of those cards, but another Murder of Crows, a Blue Sun Zenith, or a Kavu Climber. I mean, Climber is just the worst of those 2 options. I think it's going to be Murder of Crows on account of Blue Sun Zenith being triple blue. And again, I'm not going to be heavy red. I'm probably not playing this. And again, Ire Shaman can be cast face down, so it hurts the mana not as much as these other 2 red cards. Yeah, Murder of Crows is just a beating, though. I think I'm just going to take the Murder of Crows. As much as I love a blue spell. Whoa. Oh, jeez. All right, combo central here. Niv Mizzet, the Fire Mind, is a very strong card. It is double red, but it's another big 4/4 beater. It's also a target that can be fetched up with Fierce Empath. And then there's Spike Shot Goblin, which, do I have ways to pump this Goblin? Not really. If I did, it'd be a lot better. I think it's fine on its own. Man, why couldn't this pack be more spread out? Plus, like, I might play one of these low-end cards. I'm going to take Niv Mizzet here. I'm going to take it. And follow up Niv Mizzet with... Cloud Shift does work on Morphs, by the way. I think I'm going to take Myriad Landscape, because it can help me get double red or double blue, which might be things that I have trouble with, or double green. I mean, I have double red, double blue, double green cards in my deck. And I'm not skipping out on too much. Skirk Commando, Coral Helm Guide, Ambassador Oak. These are all fine cards that I can afford to skip out on. See? Look, you just get them anyway. Retraction Helix is interaction, but I'm going to pick up Ambassador Oak. Fill out that part of the curve there. Ooh, Accumulated Knowledge coming back is nice. That does make me feel a lot better about having the first Accumulated Knowledge. 2 is kind of the minimum I need in order to play this card. 3 is when I get very happy, and I would go up to 4 in most decks. Survivalist, nobody's interested in Hannah, unfortunately. I don't even know what this really does in the format, but it's kind of a weird inclusion, but so is everything else. All right, here, I like interaction, so Totally Lost might be right. Giant Growth is not quite right. Primal Clay is a thing I can cast. I'm going to actually take Primal Clay here. Flexibility is nice. Mystic of the Hidden Way, I'm probably not playing 3 of those. And Retraction Helix, has this gotten any better? Not really. This card is terrible. All right. And last pick, Blue Sun Zenith. Wow. I don't even think of that. Ooh, Flooded Grove actually helps quite a bit. But there's also a Mana War. And Invigorate is not the card I want for this deck. Street Wraith, not the card I want for this deck. I'm probably going to take Flooded Grove, to be honest. The fact that it can make double green or double blue helps out quite a bit. Makes me feel a little better about the Blue Sun Zenith. Helps cast Niv Mizzet, helps cast Murder of Crows, helps cast Wildheart Invoker, helps cast Niv Mizzet, right? I'm passing up on Mana War, which is not a card I like passing up on, but I need to. I know I'm not playing all of these. Let's go and got one of those. But Flooded Grove actually does help here. It makes my mana very smooth if I draw it. Brine Elemental and Lightning Bolt. Ooh, good pack for us. It doesn't seem like a lot of people are going to be interested in Brine Elemental. In fact, last time I drafted, I'm pretty sure this wheeled around the table. Lightning Bolt is good interaction that I might just want, though. I'm a little light on interaction, and this is about as good as it gets. Brine Elemental would be good, but I'm hoping to get it back. I don't think I will. This pack looks kind of weak overall, but I wouldn't mind it either. I'm going to pick up Lightning Bolt. Can't go wrong with that. Imperial Recruiter gets power 2 or less from the deck. It can fetch up, I don't know, a number of little weenie cards. It's actually not bad. If not that, I'm taking, I mean, another Merfolk Looter would be good, but Imperial Recruiter is sweet, I suppose. I'm assuming it can fetch up Primal Clay. The thing is, this doesn't fetch up anything, like, super good for us. Just gets, like, some random morph. I guess it can get Animar, which is not something to just sit there and scoff at. I could just take Merfolk Looter and have a safer pick, though. But let's try it out. You don't get to play with this mythic rare that often. Especially since anybody who opens it in Limited is going to snag it, right? Presence of Gond? I don't have any ways to go off. I don't have Freed from the Real or Horseshoe Crab. I don't want Lol, Plummet. Zada, this is not a deck for. Sorry, I will not switch for Zada. And Simian Spirit Guide, not quite. Take Dragon Eye Savants. I like this card. Even if I don't end up running it, I like having access to just a big dumb Morphe creature. Swiftfoot Boots. Ooh, the Bender of Wills. Lots of Elvish Aberrations, lots of Primal Clays. Now, Willbender is sweet, especially when you have a ton of morphs. Willbender is a good way to swing a game around if you can land it at the right time and keep up its activation and get your opponent to use a morph, or not a morph, but a kill spell or something like that, and just redirect it. Be sweet. Even redirects things like Diabolic Edict. They target you, you redirect to them, make them sack a creature. Like, you just get value off this creature anytime you get to use the ability, which is nice. And every opponent is going to have removal spells in their deck. So note that Brainstorm would not actually be bad in my deck since I have multiple ways to shuffle. Forest Cyclers, Myriad Landscape, 2 Tutors in Fierce Empath and Imperial Recruiter. What are we taking here? How do I feel about Jalira in this deck? I don't have a lot of token generation, so this would just be a way to kind of cycle a creature into another creature. I could take Shoreline Ranger or a Counterspell. Counterspell is interaction, and it's a little bit better with the cards I already have. I'm going to take Shoreline Ranger. As you can see, we're going to have to make tons of cuts. Ooh, Accumulated Knowledge number 3 is great. Kaivu Climber would be good. Totally Lost is not as exciting, but Accumulated Knowledge number 3 is getting in the deck. Ooh, Willbender number 2? Jeez. There's also... I mean, this is a good sign. All Teamer cards. I like Sift, but I need it less when I have 3 Accumulated Knowledges and possibly a Blue Sun Zenith. I'm just going to take another Willbender. Bend wills for days. If this were real life, I'd snap off this Street Wraith. Browbeat. I'm not playing any of the cards in this pack. Guess I'll take Browbeat. There's potential that comes in for some reason. And here, Active Treason. I'm not playing for Mystica the Hidden Ways. It's just not going to happen. Sure. Whatever. We're not playing whatever's in that pack. I'm going to take Loxodon over Colossal Dreadmaw, I think. So disrespectful. Y'all are so rude. So rude. I'm going to take Presence of Gone. There's some matchups where just being able to generate that token every turn can really help. I'm going to pick up Brainstorm now. We're going to have to make a ton of cuts. Uncaged Fury over Cinderstorm. And last pick, Path of Peace, is interesting. I know this isn't like premium removal, but it's pretty good. I mean, the Thalia coming around and Path of Peace means white was pretty open. Although I don't think I saw too many signs that white was open. All right, so we're going to be making cuts for a while here. It is possible I just want to pause the video again and just kind of see what's up, but What I'm going to do first is go ahead and move anything that has an adjustable mana cost. So Blue Sun Zenith I'll keep at the top. These Cyclers I like to put in the 2-drop slot. All the Morphs I like to put in the 3-drop slot. Fathom Seer is going to come out. I have enough card draw that I don't need Fathom Seer. Retraction Helix seems pretty poor. Ancient Stearns is probably not necessary either. But you can already see I'm going to have to cut a bunch of 3s, right? Mystic of the Hidden Ways. And I think that's it for Morphs. Again, I kind of like Brainstorm in this deck. It's possible I don't need Brainstorm when or I don't need to worry about triple blue off Blue Sun Zenith when I have 3 accumulated knowledges. And I think Blue Sun Zenith's better suited in a deck that's running like counter spells and things like that. I like accumulated knowledge better when you can cast a spell and cast this alongside it to help refuel. As for the morphs, we have tons and tons of morphs here. What just doesn't seem that good? Like, what stands out to me right away as cards I might not want? Ancient Stirrings, Primal Clay, maybe one of these Mystic of the Hidden Ways just for clunkiness reasons. Dragon Eye Savants is a good defensive card. Magus at the Wheel is not necessary. Is this target player? No. Could mill ourselves. How about that? How do we all feel about milling ourselves? All right, so let's say I make these 3 cuts. That puts me down to 28. And is this going to be a 17 land deck? Probably. Probably just want to be safe. I have enough card draw that I can afford 17 lands, I believe. All right, what else is standing out to me is things that I don't really want to play. I guess I could cut Ambassador Oak. It's not really necessary. Dragon Eye Savants doesn't seem quite necessary as well. I didn't get any Cultivates back. Imperial Recruiter and Fierce Empath are very similar in that they're not great plays, but they get a lot better when I have Animar out. And they also just, I mean, they're small bodies that affect the board in a minor way and also just let me fetch up another creature. Like Imperial Recruiter going to get Mana War is fine. Fierce Empath going to get like Niv Mizzet or Woolly Loxodon seems just fine as well. But they don't seem like incredible or anything like that. They're just very similar, and it's funny that this is the mythic rare and this is the uncommon, right? Just the way it plays out. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut Inox Survivalist, which is a card I like to sideboard into when I know that I'm up against a lot of artifacts and enchantments. People who play things like Aramancers, those are the type of decks that Inox Survivalist tends to be good against. Although I do think this is a perfectly main deckable card. It's quite strong. I'm going to go ahead and cut Ambassador Oak, I think. Yeah. Our deck is going to be super soft to, what's it called? Pyroclasm. But that's fine. That's fine. Magus of the Wheel. This is a strong card. I'm not a big fan of gassing up the opponent's hand, though. Although, I'm just envisioning, like, having an Animar with a billion counters on it, activate a Magus, and just dumping a new hand, but that's a little bit ambitious. I'm going to go and get Magus. I mean, 3 mana, 3/3 is good, though, right? I'm still thinking about Blue Sun Zenith. That's another way to just gas up, similar to Magus of the Wheel, but not in the form of a body. Wildheart Invoker seems okay here. I like both the Murder of Crows and I like Niv Mizzet here. I might cut one of these little tutors. I might cut Fierce Empath because it only has 3 possible targets. It's possible I cut a Woolly Loxodon here too, but I got to close out the game, right? Having these big guys is not terrible. But would I rather have... I mean, Imperial Recruiter is... Or, I'm sorry, Fierce Empath is kind of another Woolly Loxodon. And I'm going to be fetching Niv Mizzet with Fierce Empath some amount of the time anyway. Alright, I convinced myself to cut a Loxodon. Sorry, I really like this guy. Fond memories of this card in Khan's draft, but let's see what the colors considerations look like. And keep in mind, like, Heavy Blue stands out right away, but Ire Shaman and Woolly Loxodon are colorless when I need them to be. Elvish Aberration can be cycled away if I don't have Forest, so this is a little bit lighter in the mana. So I'm going to go Heavy Blue here, make sure I play the Landscape and the Flooded Growth, so I need to figure out 15 Be majority blue. This actually looks kind of right. Well, I'm gonna add Flooded Grove and Myriad Landscape in. Plus, I have Prophetic Prism, so I'm gonna go down a blue source. Plus, I have Shoreline Ranger. What if I do this? This would be 17. Give me how many blue sources total? 7, 8, 9. 9 blue sources. Green. I don't need as much green and red. So yeah, maybe it's right to cut at least a mountain. I can see keeping in the forest because I have like Arbor Elf, which just isn't going to hit the board on turn 1 too often, unfortunately. And maybe add in one more island here because I want to be able to cast all my blue spells for sure. Again, those can be cast face down though. Alright, so I think we got a deck together. We've got some Animar nonsense going on. Very light on removal, so I'm glad I took Lightning Bolt, and I have like Mana War, but that's about it for that. So there are going to be some things I lose to just because I don't have ways to get them off the board, and that's fine. Maybe I can use like these Will Benders to help me out, and this massive card advantage to kind of get ahead of the opponent. But anyway, this is the deck. Looks like it's going to be a little bit fun. Hopefully we don't get completely aggroed out because we're going to be a little bit slower. But I hope you guys enjoyed the draft. As always, my name's Timothy with Mana Rocks. I'll see y'all in the matches. All right, bye. All right, Timothy, here in usual Mana Rocks fashion, we're opening up with a one-lander that I'm going to have to mulligan. If it was a blue source, I would consider it for Brainstorm, but I'm not willing to keep this even though it's pretty low cost altogether. Have to mulligan. And mulligan into double blue, but with a scry, I think I'm going to keep this. And yeah, Niv Mizzet can definitely go away here. So just looking to hit mana sources, really. If the first things I do are play Willbender's face down, that's going to be fine, I think. Opponent starting off with Vessel of Nascency. That's fine. That's fine. That's probably going to use up their first couple turns. Fierce Empath will be a good draw if I hit mana sources. If not, then it'll be like any other game where you don't draw lands. You'll just be dead already, but there's not much you can do about that sometimes. Obviously, a forest or a mountain would be good since these help me kind of fetch up things I might need. Ooh, Nettle Sentinel. I'm assuming they just drew that for the turn. All right, Accumulated Knowledge is a good start here since it basically just cycles right now, but this gives me 2 more opportunities to hit my next land. Yep, getting the beat down on. So we're going to be behind for most of this game. Cast a green spell, untap Nettle Sentinel. Oh, no green spell. Huh. They're probably just going to activate Vessel then. Alright, cycle me into a forest or a mountain, please. Kraken in response. So they get to look at the top 4 and just get it. What is this? Hold on a second. What did they reveal? Did they reveal 2 vessels, a plains, and a forest? And 3 lands? Or did they take a land? I'm a little bit confused. The graveyard and whatnot is messing me up. All right, cool. We got a mountain. So now I can play Imperial Recruiter. And what are we fetching up with Recruiter? Power 2 or less. I might just get something that can help me find a land if that's an option I have. Arbor Elf doesn't seem right. Could get Mana War. Merfolk Looter, Ire Shaman, Arbor Elf. Could get Animar, but I'd have to bank on drawing the green source. I think I'm getting Mana War here just to make sure I can interact with my opponent. And we'll say go there. Take another hit from this Nettle Sentinel. So I think my opponent has a Vessel of... They revealed these 4 cards. Yeah, they took a land, so they have a Plains in their hand. That's what they took off Vessel. All right, so now we don't know anything. So they hit another Vessel and 3 lands off of their first Vessel. Ooh, Elvish Piper. Ooh, hoping I can. Well, I'm just gonna Mana War that, but it does take up their whole turn. It is a 1/1, but I don't think I want them to start activating that when I'm pretty far behind. Hopefully, I hit a forest here, or at least any mana will help. All right, I'll take that over nothing. I would rather wait on Willbender until I can cast it and also morph it during the same turn. So we're gonna go. Actually, you know what? You ain't blocking this. Let's act like we have Lightning Bolt here. Just gonna bounce Elvish Piper. If they want to recast that, it uses their whole turn. Elvish Piper's kind of a scary card. You just get to pay a green to put a creature into play. Cast in Nettle Sentinel using Nettle Sentinel. That's cute. So my opponent is the beatdown. Oh, I'll for sure block here. Alright, Accumulated Knowledge was not a bad draw. It's going to draw 2, so hopefully it hits a land here. Ooh, it did not. Jeez. Alright, so we're just going to get screwed on mana again. I can cast a Willbender face up to be able to block this Nettle Sentinel, but that seems bad. Not hitting a land at all was bad, though. I mean, I guess my opponent also missed their 5th land, but that was bad. They also dug 4 cards deep as well. And it looks like they cycled. Yeah, they cycled Woe. I don't know why I keep seeing Woe in everybody's deck. I guess it's fair because it cycles pretty cheaply. But it's also just not a great main deckable card. I feel like I'm falling behind every turn that I just don't draw a land here, which is a little unfortunate. By the time we start playing our morphs, we're going to be behind, but there's not a lot I can do about it. This looks like a 3-drop. This does not look like a... Ooh, Cultivate. Alright, so that's going to get my opponent out of their mana screw. I unfortunately have no such luck. Accumulated Knowledge drawing 2 and not hitting a land there was horrendous, because had it hit a land, I'd be able to cast Morphs and whatnot. I'd have more pressure on board. I do not have that right now, though. Should we try again? It's not like we have much of an option. So we're going to draw 3 this time, be discarding for turn. All right, I think Animar is going to come down now because that lets me kind of go off next turn. I could keep up Lightning Bolt, but I can always bolt whatever they play next turn. It is good that I have this for their Elvish Piper if they end up recasting that. But hopefully Animar survives and I can start going off. All right, I have to discard. I might discard one of these Murder of Crows, as weird as that seems. Actually, I'm going to discard Wild Heart Invoker, I think. Yeah, double green, kind of sketch right now. If I draw a land and Animar survives, I can play Fierce Empath, and then a Morph, and then 3 more Morphs. Alright, let's see what they've got. It is nice that Animar does have Pro White, so it's immune to some of the removal spells they could have. It's not immune to fight spells and things of that nature. Alright, show me what you got. Yep, here comes Piper. Probably going to try to Lightning Bolt that, rather than go off with these Morphs and whatnot. And a Watch Wolf. Alright, Animar does block Watch Wolf. Niv Mizzet the Firemind was not what I wanted to draw there, so I can cast one. I can just, I'm going to just bolt this now and play a Morph, I think, or bolt that and play Fierce Empath. That seems fine. I kind of like the idea of getting a Willbender down too. But I'm going to take out Elvish Piper while I have the chance, while my opponent can't interact, and then cast You know what I could do is cast a Willbender face up and then cast a Morph face down. Wait, hold on. If I cast Willbender face up, that puts a counter on Animar. And then I cast Fierce Empath. That puts another counter on Animar. I could go Willbender, Willbender, Fierce Empath, play a Morph, play a Morph. But I don't want to play my Willbenders face up. So I'm just going to go ahead and guess just cast Fierce Empath. Yeah, let's just cast Fierce Empath here. Animar gets a little bit bigger. Empath gets to go get Woolly Loxodon, I suppose, is the only target I have. Or I could get Elvish Aberration here. Or Shoreline Ranger. Maybe I just want Shoreline Ranger. That seems good against my opponent. Actually, let's get the creature that can morph, because then we get to go off with Animar next turn. I could cast Willbender face up. That puts 2 counters on this, but then I can't cast anything else this turn, so I'm just going to wait again to try and go off next turn. I don't mind trading both my little recruiter guys for this Nettle Sentinel, and Animar can just block Watchwolf. Those were cultivate targets. Nettle Sentinel might not even attack. Well, it does. Alright, so not too worried about what's going on here. Don't think I'm getting edicted or anything like that. Protection from whites. If they want to use a pump spell, that'd be fine. I'd like to get it out of their hand. Oh, actually, you know what? That was kind of dumb. I should have put one of the 1/1s in front of Watchwolf with Animar and just taken the 2 there. Get Watchwolf off the battlefield. But next turn, Animar is going to be big enough that... Ooh, what is this? Protean Hulk. When it dies, search your library for any number of creatures with total converted mana cost 6 or less. Alright, so here, I think I can go off. Or at least I can play 1, 2, 3, 4. So play my first morph costs 2. Next one costs 1. I think I can probably play Niv Mizzet this turn. I would need to keep up blue, blue, red, red. So first morph costs 2. No, I can't play Niv Mizzet on top of it, but I can probably play a Murder of Crows. So what we're going to do is go... Does this trample? It does not. Alright, so it doesn't matter too much which morphs we play. I'm going to go ahead and play Willbender face down. Animar is going to get big this turn. Say okay. And then I can play another morph for 1. Then I can play my other morphs for free. Alright. Yep, just casting morphs for free now. This is why they call it Animorph. Cast this face down. And cast a Murder of Crows. Now, I could attack with Animar. I'm a little skeptical as to what they can get, though. They can just get some huge bomb creature. So I think I'm going to just pass the turn here. If they attack with Protean Hulk, I'm going to say that's fine. And then next turn, I'll kind of hold up these Willbenders and see what I can do about that. Because Murder of Crows does clock them a little bit. They might not even block, but I'm a little worried they go get like some big bomb 6-drop creature or something. I mean, they have Elvish Piper in their deck too, so they could get pretty much anything. Could they get a green or white creature that comes in and like fights Animar and kills it off? Because that would be pretty gross too. Well, this holds off Watchwolf as well. Alright, I'll wait one turn here. Murder of Crows plus Niv Mizzet is nice. If I draw another blue source, I can cast Murder of Crows and Niv Mizzet next turn. That was a pretty good turn, though. Alright, Kong Ming. Alright. Kong Ming's good. plus something else, plus Ambassador Oak. Alright, so opponents also got a board of their own. Probably take a hit from Protean Hulk. I'm assuming it's attacking here. Oh, no, no attack. Cool. Alright, so now I can cast both of these. I might not want to. I might want to hold up Willbender in case they have like a fight spell or something. But I'm for sure attacking with Murder of Crows. Could attack with Mystic of the Hidden Way as well. Go 7. And then next turn have 8, 9, 10, 11 on board. No, I'm just going to attack with Murder of Crows. I might even do some chumps next turn. My opponent's on 1 card in hand. Cast Murder of Crows. Make my thing even bigger. Say okay. Cast Niv Mizzet. And unfortunately just leaving up a forest here, but that's fine. And we're going to pass from there. So, yeah, I mean, I have lethal on my opponent next turn with Flyers plus Mystic of the Hidden Way, so let's see what happens this turn. 4 mana. Another Ambassador Oak is not going to do it here. I'm just going to chump most of what attacks me. I mean, the only thing that can really attack is Protean Hulk. I'll just throw Woolly Loxodon in front of that, I think. My opponent's last card has to be something pretty good. I doubt they have multiple wolves in their deck, but you never know. And it looks like my opponent's just like a green-white attrition deck. I mean, it's kind of scary. Protean Hulk fetching up like Kong Ming plus, a 2-drop plus, I don't know, even like Kong Ming plus Watch Wolf off of Protean Hulk dying is a very tough situation. Well, I guess we demonstrated the power of Animar here. Or maybe we demonstrated the power of accumulated knowledge. I drew 6 extra cards this game. Alright, let's see what attacks look like. Yep, this attack is exactly what I would expect. Animar is going to eat Watch Wolf. I'm going to chump Protean Hulk. Put a Murder of Crows in front of one of these 2/2s. Uh-huh. No attack? Jeez, alright. And now I have Willbender up, so I can't possibly see what goes wrong here, minus just a lull. I can't shoot down any of their creatures. Oh, you know what? I could shoot down Kong Ming here. I don't need to. I'm just going to shoot them. Then I'm going to flip Mystic of the Hidden Way, attack him with all the Flyers and Mystic, and that should about wrap us up here. Go and play out my land. Transform. Keeping up double Willbender. My opponent does get to see these Willbenders at the end of the turn, or at the end of the game if nothing else happens. I mean, best they can have here is like Swords to Plowshares or something like that. So that's 12, that's 15 damage. And they cannot currently block any of it. Nice. So against a beatdown deck. So we're going to take out a couple more aggressive cards and look to lean more on our defensive cards, I think. So what I like is cutting this Wild Heart Invoker. I didn't really think the double green was going to be that big of a problem, but I can see I'm going to have issues with it. And we're going to bring in Dragon Eye Savant. I like this card on defense. The deck played out kind of exactly how we wanted it to. Even for missing land drops, our opponent didn't put a lot of pressure on us. We drew a bolt at pretty much the right time. That might be the only change I make here. Primal Clay seems just okay, but not great. Oh, did I not put... Ooh, I did not put Myriad Landscape and Flooded Grove in. Ooh. I missed him completely. That's bad. So, there we go. Huh. I forgot to put him back in the deck. That's not good. Retraction Helix? Retraction Helix is whatever. Active Treason? I can see. Do I have a way to, like, active treason my opponent's Protean Hulk and then sacrifice it? I'm pretty sure I don't, but how sweet would that be? Ambassador Oak matches up nicely against Ambassador Oak. Also a good defensive card. Mystic of the Hidden Way doesn't seem necessary on defense. It doesn't block very well. It doesn't flip up. I think I'm going to cut that for Ambassador Oak. Yeah. All right. So now we're down to just a couple red cards, and I think it's better to have another forest than this extra mountain, especially since we're not casting our red cards super early in the game. All right. Now that we've fixed our mana, let's go ahead and run it back for game 2. Oh, I'll keep this hand for sure. Hopefully I don't get just like Nettle Sentinel Watch Wolf, but my opponent is green-white beatdown, so that could happen. I'm going down to 6. They scry to the top. Alright, no Nettle Sentinel is a good start for us. Ooh, Merfolk Looter. Probably just play that on turn 2. Start finding me some morphs that I can play on turn 3. I do have all my colors as well. Ooh, they just drew Nettle Sentinel off the top. Brainstorm ought to be good at some point in this game. But we're going to drop a Merfolk Looter. I wouldn't mind finding something like Dragon Eye Savants here just to kind of block for a while. All right. What's your follow-up? Ooh, Myriad Landscape. Do I just play that this turn? I'm going to cast an Accumulated Knowledge. I'm not going to cast anything else. I could Brainstorm. Oh, well, I'll wait to Brainstorm. So I'm going to play Myriad Landscape and just cast an Accumulated Knowledge on end step, I think. We'll loot on our opponent's end step. Again, just taking some hits here. It might be worth looting on main phase to find a morph or something to play. Ooh, 4-drop, Ambassador Oak. Alright, so pressure's on now. I'm going to go ahead and just cast this Accumulated Knowledge. Or do I want to loot first? I could loot away Accumulated Knowledge and draw 2 cards, but that doesn't seem great. Let's just let our opponent do combat real quick. I'm going to take 2. Go ahead and take my hit. Yep. Alright, so I think I want to loot first and then cast Accumulated Knowledge. I don't think it matters too much, to be honest. No, I should accumulate knowledge first. I might want to discard something extra that I've drawn. This gives me more options as to what I want to discard. Probably just throwing away a forest here, I think. Yeah, kind of like Shoreline Ranger. It blocks everything my opponent plays if I get to it. And now we'll cast Knowledge. And cycle. Following up with, we can Murder of Crows next turn. Unfortunately, we can't do much this turn, so we got to just play a land, crack Myriad Landscape, or Brainstorm, then crack Myriad Landscape. Could Brainstorm now, since that's the plan. And if I find something else I want to play instead, that'll work. So I'm taking 6 currently. That's not an insignificant amount of damage. I might trade... I might just chump with Merfolk Looter this turn. I don't want to go down to 10, have my opponent play another creature, and then suddenly my creatures are too slow or something like that. It's going to be close. If my opponent adds a lot of pressure to the board or plays Kong Ming or something this turn, then I'm kind of out of luck. Nettle Sentinel might not untap. Okay. Well, that's not the worst thing they could play to untap their Nettle Sentinel. Say okay. I think I'm going to take 6. Don't love it, but I'm going to do it. Drawing like a bolt here or something would be fantastic. Alright, anything else you can add? Yeah, they got another creature. Oh, and an Ambassador. Oh. Alright, now I'm under a little bit too much pressure for me to be able to win this game, I think. They've got 6 bodies on board to my gonna be just 2. So let's see what we can loot into here. I think I'm gonna cast Brainstorm, crack Myriad Landscape to get rid of some lands here. Okay, we did draw Bolt. Should I bolt on my end step? If I crack Landscape, I'm gonna have 6 mana available on my turn. I can cast Murder of Crows and bolt something. That kind of takes care of the 2 3/3s. And then block, block. Alright, I'm not too far up against it. As long as I keep Bolt and Murder of Crows, we'll go ahead and put back, just put back 2 lands because we're going to crack this anyway. So what do I need to fetch with Landscape? Let's go ahead and get, I think just double blue, right? Go get Island, Island. One remaining. Oh, did we almost get 1 island? Can you even get 1 land off of that? Alright, and then go ahead and loot now. Can't loot away a land here because I need to make sure I have 6, but now I can loot away an island. And let's see, this turn we're going to go ahead and play Murder of Crows, keeping up Lightning Bolt. I'm going to keep up the bolt at instant speed, I think, just in case. And this is probably the turn where I have to either chump with Merfolk Looter or do something with Merfolk Looter. I need them to kind of brick a little bit too. I'm a little bit up against it here. Alright, let's go ahead and if I go block, block, take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's a lot of damage. Maybe I can try to get a pump spell out of them or something. But we're going to block a 3/3. Could just block the 3/3 here. See if they want to do anything. Oh, please go for a pump spell. No. Alright. Bolt and Ambassador Oak, I think. Just keep my Merfolk on board. Good. Alright, Murder of Crows trigger. I would like to draw and discard. 1, 2, 3. I want to be able to cast as many spells as possible next turn. I think I'm going to ditch Shoreline Ranger. Could also ditch Niv Mizzet. It seems like I'm only... Well, I guess Fierce Empath can go get a Morph that I can play face down. So I can add at least 2 bodies to the board next turn, regardless of what I do. So I'm going to pitch the Forest. I'm going to loot anyway. Eat the other Ambassador Oak. I'm down to 4, but I'm not in a terrible position now. Go ahead and loot again. Murder of Crows. Well, that's just better than Shoreline Ranger if nothing else happens. And I know it's always right to loot, but I'm not going to loot with Merfolk Looter. I got enough looting going on that I just don't even need to activate. This looks like opponent slamming something on the board. Them going wider than me is good for them. 5. What do I need to draw? 1, 2. That was the last card out of their hand, though. Alright, so options here. I think it's right to probably go Fierce Empath plus play a Morph. I wish there was a way to get Niv Mizzet down and also cast Accumulated Knowledges, but can't even cast Niv Mizzet right now. If I play a Murder of Crows and I go block, 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 I'm only taking 2. I die to Kong Ming off the top. Fierce Empath plus a Morph means I can go block. I'd be losing a lot of creatures in that exchange. Alright, if I have 6, I could cast Accumulated Knowledge and get kind of greedy here, but if I don't hit a land, then I'm in a lot of trouble. Might just cast another Murder of Crows and say go. And then I go block, block, block. Block, 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 take 3. No, I think I want to get 2 bodies down here. So, Fierce Empath, get Dragon. Oh no, this has to get the big guys. Yeah, I don't want to lose a lot of my creatures here. Let's see. Yeah, I might just play another Murder of Crows and then block 1, 2, 3 creatures and take 3. I lose my Merfolk Looter. They go down to 2 or they go down to 1, 2. Oh, no, that doesn't work either. Ooh, accumulated knowledge. Try to hit like a land plus 2 drop 3 drop. Trade Fierce Empath here. Murder of Crows blocks a 3/3. My Morph blocks a Nettle Sentinel. And then Merfolk Looter jumps in front of a 1/1. So I take 3 that way. Yeah, that seems like probably my best bet. Because I do have interaction to follow that up with. If I could get Niv Mizzet down, 1, 2, then I could just draw and start shooting creatures off, which is why I really don't want to lose this Merfolk Looter. But I think this is probably my best bet here, is go Fierce Empath, go get just a Loxodon that can play as a morph creature, and look to block as many things as possible, eat as many things as possible, and try to stabilize from there. And pass the turn. So I need my opponent to brick again. It's not a good position for me to be in. Their triple Ambassador Oak deck just goes wider than mine. But barring a pump spell or Kong Ming, I shouldn't die this turn. Still just not in a great position though. Especially since I'm losing Merfolk Looter. I'm losing everything but Murder of Crows. And going down to probably 2 here. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. I'm assuming they're just turning sideways with everything. So let's go ahead and do the thing that we said we were going to do. Morph here. I could go... Let's see, if I go block, that leaves me with 1 Murder of Crows to their 2 attackers, and I'm at 3 life. And then if I can't play 2 creatures next turn, I'm in bad shape. What if I go like this? What if I go morph on this, and let's say double block here? I die. That's not going to work. So yeah, well, we got to try to trade off for what we can. So trade off for some 1/1s. Go to 1 life and see if that's going to be enough. I get to loot a million times if that's what I want to do. Yeah, I'm going to pitch an accumulated knowledge, I think. Ooh, Ambassador Oak is actually solid here. It just means I'm going to have multiple blockers. Discard. Island. I'm just going to say no to the rest of these. Digs through too much of my deck, and no, 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 no. I'm at 1 life. This is not great for me. They haven't F6, so they probably drew something they can cast. Hoping it's just a vessel. Oh, it's an Elvish Piper. Alright. Well, Ambassador Oak, save us, please. Prophetic Prism. I can play that and also play... or I could play Accumulated Knowledge. That just seems better. And then we'll go ahead and cast Ambassador Oak and try to stay alive. All my opponent needs is a removal spell, and we die. Oh, no land off of that. Alright, my opponent can brick for 1 turn on putting a creature on the board. I feel pretty good about this. Because of these will benders. Granted, I still gotta kill my opponent. Ooh, Cultivate. Alright, their draw for turn was Cultivate. I have 12 cards left in my deck. Jeez. Alright. And they can't attack me this turn, which is good news. Alright. Ooh. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's time to get Niv Mizzet down. Alternatively, I can play 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I could just play another Murder of Crows. Um, oh, I can't play Niv Mizzet plus draw a card in any way. So I think I might go Willbender face down, Willbender face down, or something like that. Just in case they remove a creature. Oh, no, if that's the case, it's just better to get Niv Mizzet down. And just hope they kind of brick again. I'm not attacking this turn, though. Because if I attack with a creature and they find a removal spell, they get to just jam everything in and win the game. Niv Mizzet on draws can start pinging things, pinging creatures, so 11 cards left in my deck, 8 minutes on the clock, and this is round 2. Ooh, Watch Wolf off the top. Alright, so now I feel like we're going to be pretty set this game. So I can shoot off Elvish Piper here. Get that out of here. Oh man, I get to go off with Niv Mizzet. I don't want to deck myself though. But I am going to do this first one. Draw, discard. Let's get rid of Dragon Eye Savants. Niv Mizzet's going to shoot off the 1/1 here. And I'm going to say no on the loot here. Then this turn, I think I'm just going to play the double Willbenders face down. No. Alright, play Flooded Grove. Go ahead and attack for 8 in the air. Do gotta, wrap the game up, too. Boom, boom. Yeah, let's go with some face down Willbenders. One, just need to make sure I keep green up. I'm not gonna, or double blue up. I'm not gonna worry too much about being fancy with whatchamacallit. So just keep double blue up, and it looks like I have counterspell, which is good. And pass, and I'm pretty sure we should be able to win on our next turn here. It's not a lot my opponent can play that beats me here through these Willbenders. I have 8, 9. Yeah, opponent conceded the game. So you can see how our deck's going to play out. It's going to be behind for most of the game since we're not casting a lot before turn 3, but we got some pretty good late game. That was sweet. See y'all in match 2. And we're back from match 2 after a pretty long match 1. There are some decks in this format where I feel like I'd actually want to go second here. If I'm up against a really dirty like blue-black deck, I might want to go second, but as is, with the aggressive decks being the way they are in this format, I'm going to just up to play every time until I know what I'm up against. Not a bad open in hand. Get to cycle accumulated knowledge into Ire Shaman, and hopefully that does a little bit for us. And hopefully we get some insight as to what we're up against. No Savannah Lion, so there's that. Do love me a Murder of Crows. Could play Ire Shaman face up, but I'm not about passing up on value here. Just going to cycle an accumulated knowledge. Ooh, red-white. This seems like it's going to be a bad matchup for us. Although if our opponent doesn't play anything in their red-white deck on turn 1 or 2, then that's not terrible for us either. Could just be all removal spells, though. Pyroclasm being the card that I'm most scared of. Alright, good mana. Yeah, Irish Shaman face down looks good. And I'll just pass. This, yeah, I can cast Morphs off of this too. See if it gets bolted or something to that degree. It could be Kindle. No, nothing. Alright. I like how this is going so far. Surely our opponent has a 3-drop in their red-white deck. Fiend Hunter. Well, that's kind of annoying because Irish Shaman will come back face up if I ever kill the Fiend Hunter, but I'm not killing that anytime soon. Looks like I'm just playing a Morph on my turn. If I draw lands, I've got a nice curve out. I'm not too worried about Fiend Hunter. I think I'm going to put Mystic of the Hidden way down since I'm not flipping Woolly Loxodon anytime soon anyway. Although, had I played Woolly Loxodon and killed Fiend Hunter, I would have a 6/7 somehow. Let's do this just in case they want to get fancy with another Exile effect. It's not a bad 3-drop to have if you're not playing 1 or 2 drops, though. It does kind of mess up my plans, too. I was hoping to flip that bad boy up, get some damage in, potentially hit another land. As is, I need to draw some lands myself. Probably play Murder of Crows if I draw a 5th land. If not, I might cycle Shoreline Ranger and play like Willbender face down. I think I'm blocking here. My opponent attacks. Not too scared of combat tricks. I'm fine with my opponent using a lot of their mana to take out a morph creature. Alright, Active Heroism. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Trade Active Heroism for a morph. It's not great for me, but it is fine. Go ahead and cast Murder of Crows. And see what's up. Alright, now if Fiend Hunter attacks, I'm not blocking. Browbeat. Any player may have Browbeat deal damage to him or her. If no one does, target player draws 3 cards. And they correctly target themselves. I'm just going to take 5. I'm not letting my opponent draw 3 cards. I'm fine with that. Well, I could have changed the target to me. That would be pretty sick. Plus Jackal Pup. Alright. Alright, my opponent did not have an answer for a 4/4 flyer, so it's likely they probably don't have an answer for a 3/4 flyer as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get this hidden and just play Shoreline Ranger rather than playing some Morphs. And see if there are any attacks or not. I mean, Browbeat was 3 mana, deal 5. If you're in a hyper-aggressive deck, then there are times where your opponent just has to let you draw 3 cards. 3 mana, draw 3 in red is good. Oh, this is suspicious. I don't really have to fall into a trick here, so what I'm going to do is take the hit and probably cast Willbender next turn, leave enough mana to morph it, and see if anything goes there. Ooh, are we using a pump spell? Oh, are we dead? Well, I'm taking at least 6 this turn. That's not terrible. Alright, so now I can go Arbor Elf plus Willbender and just hold up Willbender activation. I think I'm going to attack with just Murder of Crows here. I'd like to feign defense here for a little bit. My opponent's probably a Zada deck of some sort as well. But now I can block Jackal Pup with like Shoreline Ranger if they go for another trick like that, and then if they want to something like that. So what's the worst that could happen here? They go pump plus something. Yeah, I'm just going to morph that. You get no God's Will, and plus I'll get the Scry. Oh no, my opponent will still get the Scry. Oh, it has to change to another creature they control though, right? So I'm just going to put it on Fiend Hunter then. Yeah, I forgot. I can't. God's Will can't actually target my creatures. But now if they're trying to go all in on an attack here, then they're going to have to do it on Fiend Hunter, and Double Strike's worse on Fiend Hunter than it is on Jackal Pup. Let's see what they did with the Scry real quick. Oh, another God's Willing? It's going to be like Trumpet Blast or something. 4, 5, 6. So they topped. I'm assuming they're topping again. What's the last card in your hand that you want to get in that bad? I'm just gonna block Jackal Pup though. Okay, another Uncaged Fury. So get in 4 damage. Yeah, they're definitely a Zada deck. Really? Alright, I go down to 5. I'm gonna loot a couple times. Get rid of that. Loot again. Get rid of that. Cool, filter 2 lands off the top. I guess I'll keep that in hand and loot it away. I'm gonna hit my opponent for 7. Play a face down Mystica hidden away and just keep Willbender back to chump anything that attacks. My opponent, I mean, Browbeat is, this is the position where you kind of want the Browbeat, right? You know what, I can even play this face up. I'm not trying to trick my opponent or anything. I guess one reason to keep it morphed is that I can flip it anyway on end step, and if something dies here and I like Murder of Crows into a Lightning Bolt, I might just want to cast that. I mean, they have to deal with my board now. Browbeat. They did top deck Browbeat. So I'm going to say be careful about this. Do you wish to take 5 damage? Nope. Draw 3. If I kept up Willbender for that, my opponent would have to let me draw 3 here. Still, I don't think there's a combination of cards that's going to kill me here. Alright, against a Zada type deck. That's pretty much what we're playing against, right? Again, I think I'm going to go ahead and... Well, Retraction Helix looks better against pump spells, so I might bring in Retraction Helix. Again, this Mystic of the Hidden Way, where are you at? That seems really bad on defense, as does Wild Heart Invoker, and I have to make the same kind of cuts to my mana to bring in those 2 lands that aren't in my main deck. So I think I took out a mountain and an island, add these 2 in. And Survivalists, didn't see any targets for that. Presence of God is normally good against these sorts of decks, although if they're removal heavy, it's not too great. Ambassador Oak seems good. And yeah, we'll just make those cuts. So bringing in another interactive spell plus Ambassador Oak. And I anticipate we will get hit by some Zadas here. Is there anything else I want to bring in? Nah, kind of like where we're at. Cool. So did not play that perfectly last game, but it's fine. It's fine. This hand is also the definition of fine. Merfolk Looter, can't use the Imperial Recruiter for a while, but we don't necessarily need to use it for a while. And we'll just see if we get Jackal Pupped on turn 1. No turn 1 play. Well, that's unfortunate. I can, however, cast a Fierce Empath if nothing else changes. Alright, show me the 2-drop. Angelic Page. I like this card quite a bit. Doesn't pressure too much when it's the first play of the game, but it does make attacking and blocking very difficult for the opponent. Also, my opponent just wants to beat down anyway, right? They want to make sure they have bodies on board. Hordeling Outburst is a card I don't want to play against. They have the Fiend Hunter. Alright, fine, you got it. Fiend Hunter Merfolk Looter is not the worst thing that could have happened to me. And again, my opponent's not putting too much pressure on me. Plus, a lot of their deck is pump spells. We saw 2 God's Will and 2 Uncaged Fury, and something else. I would really love to get Niv Mizzet here, because Niv Mizzet seems insane against my opponent. But I can't cast it for a long time. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and get Woolly Loxodon, which doesn't even block too well, to be honest, since they can pump Fiend Hunter up to a 2/4. So against the wall again, as we are going to be in this deck very often. Murder of Crows seems like it's good against this opponent, though. Mog Flunkies. No blocks. Alright, spells I can cast, that's fine. Any merit to Island Cycle in here? Any merit to cast an Accumulated Knowledge? Not this turn. I think I'm playing a Morph and just taking some damage. And then next turn we'll cast Murder of Crows. I imagine I'm getting attacked by just these two this turn. That would be my guess. If that happens, I'm not going to block, and I'll take 5. Browbeat. I don't want my opponent to draw cards, so I'm going to take the damage here. Yeah, I'll take 5. It's not great, because I'm going down to 7 this turn. If my opponent attacks with Angelic Page, I get to soak up more damage, though. So let's see what they do. Turn everything sideways. Yep, those are the correct blocks. I don't have any profitable blocks here. If I put a 2/2 in front of this, they pump it. If I put 2 creatures in front, they pump it. And I just lose my morph anyway. So I'll take 5 here, go down to 7. It's not a good position to be in, but now I get to cast Murder of Crows. And I have a backup Murder of Crows. This is the point of the game where I got to watch out for like God's Willin plus Uncaged Fury or something like that. Could just lose to that. There's not much I would be able to do about it. Retraction Helix would be a pretty good draw. Although God's Willing... Oh, they're slamming something. Looks like they're killing my bird. God's Willing has to give... I've got 3 different things, so God's Willing doesn't completely make their creature unblockable. Browbeat again. This time I don't think I can afford to take 5. Well, actually, what happens if I take 5? I go down to 2, play out some more morphs. Although I really don't want my opponent to draw 3 cards here. I have no way to gain life, though, which is kind of bad. I think I should just take the 5 damage. Although they're on all spells in hand, too. I'm going to risk my luck and go down to 2 here. Drawing a Willbender would make me pretty happy with what's going on. Prophetic Prism into Imperial Recruiter. Or I could cast another Murder of Crows. Or I could cast Accumulated Knowledge. I kind of like the Prophetic Prism and the Recruiter. Although it's probably right to just get another flyer on the board. And I'll just pass from there. I need interaction to make me feel more comfortable about what's going on. I could just die to like a burn spell. Thresher Lizard. Alright, not dying to that right away. It does attack as a 5/5 eventually, though. Is my opponent in chump attack territory? Not quite. Ooh, Ambassador Oak is nice. So, kind of wish I had a land. I could get really greedy and play Prophetic Prism, hope to hit a land and play Ambassador Oak. I could play Imperial Recruiter. I could cycle Shoreline Ranger, but this is just another body I want on the battlefield. I'm going to play Ambassador Oak here, I think, and probably attack with a Murder of Crows. I'll have 5 bodies on board. It's not very likely my opponent's going to be able to get through them all. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and hit my opponent once here, which I don't think is unreasonable. Well, now, if they have God's Willin' and they have a pump spell for Angelic Page, I do die to that. But these extra bodies are nice. And we know our opponent didn't have a burn spell anyway. I think they just drew that land off the top. I can 2-turn clock them with both of these Murder of Crows. Aha. Alright, well, you can't kill everything, right? So I'm just gonna make sure I block everything. I do gotta watch out if they cast a spell from their hand, which they definitely have. This can go ahead and get bigger. So, active author or the +2/+2 and untap and Uncaged Fury. Uncaged Fury would make this trade for Murder of Crows, which I think I'd be fine with. Oh, they also have this Angelic Page I gotta watch out for too, right? So, kind of like this here. My morph's not too important. This here, I do have to block everything. And let a Murder of Crows get eaten. This way, if they don't have a spell, what can they do? They can pump this. So they trade. They can use a trick here. Uncaged Fury would work. So I could put this here too, just to know that actually wouldn't make a difference. This is about to become a 4/4. Let's go chump with the token. Alright. So this forces the issue on one of these two things. They have 2 cards in hand. They can throw around a pump spell. If all they do is like give this +1/+1 and eat Murder of Crows or trade for Murder of Crows, I think that's okay. This does let me loot a bunch too. Alright. That I'm okay with. So I imagine this is getting +1/+1 now. I'm losing 2 creatures. My opponent's losing nothing. But I got a pump spell out of their hand. I don't lose my Ambassador Oak either, and I get to loot twice. Oh, 3 times. Yeah, we're going to loot a bunch of times here. Ooh, Mana War's nice. So I think I can ditch Accumulated Knowledge here. Go ahead and loot again. I would like to hold on to that just in case I draw nothing else. I'm going to go ahead and pitch Imperial Recruiter. And one more time. Alright, now I'll ditch an island. Ooh, Willbender, you say. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile another target creature. Alright, so I have 6 mana. In the same kind of position as last turn. I think I want to go Mana War. Or maybe I just play Shoreline Ranger and pass, but then I'm putting myself in the same position as last turn. No, you know what? I'm just going to cast Willbender face down. And I'll pass the turn. My opponent wants to make a bad attack for some reason, like I can really get them. Plus, if they draw, you know, a 15th Browbeat, they get me pretty good. Could attack with Murder of Crows, but I'm not going to. Let's see the attack again. Oh, just Angelic Page. This I like. Getting that thing off the board is actually a huge headache. So they're willing to trade an Uncaged Fury straight up for Murder of Crows. Am I okay with that, or do I want to go ahead and save my thing? What if the last card in their hand is... I don't know. Let's just save my thing. Alright, so we're going to move Uncaged Fury to... Let's just put it on Murder of Crows. That makes the most sense. Alright, I get to 2 for 1 my opponent pretty hard there, and I get to loot again. Probably saying goodbye to Prophetic Prism. Yeah, I'll say goodbye to Island. Alright. That was strange that my opponent was willing to just make that trade straight up. So now I think I'm attacking with... Well, let's go and play Prophetic Prism first. Let's just see what we draw. Ooh. A Niv Mizzet I can't even come close to casting? Well, I guess I'm only one red source away. Play the land, cast Mana War, get rid of this stupid Thresher Lizard. I don't really want to get rid of Fiend Hunter. Is there anything worth Mana Warring on my side of the board? Could Mana War my own Willbender? That would keep me pretty safe, right? Probably just better to Mana War one of their creatures. Although they're just going to replay it. Yeah, why don't we Mana War our own Willbender? I mean, they can just replay their creatures. That's fine. Willbender keeps me pretty safe from all these combat tricks. Not sure I played this last turn optimally, but it is fine. Fence and Ace is not going to change too much on the board. Log Flinchies cannot attack alone. Alright, so Ambassador Oak plus... Actually, that's a pretty good attack. So I can put... I could just chump, honestly. Would I be fine doing, let's just say, this? This is just an example. I would lose 3 creatures. They would lose both, assuming they have nothing in hand. And then they're down to Fiend Hunter, Fence and Ace versus Mana War, Murder of Crows plus my hand. I think I'm okay with this. And no trick. Yep, so, alright, let's do a little bit of looting. Actually, we'll discard that. Loot one more time. Discard it. I will loot again. I'm trying to dig towards a red source. And I kind of like that, but I don't need the second Willbender. Go ahead and ditch it. And we'll just say no to the rest. That's good. Alright, this gives my opponent like one turn to deal with things. Oh wait, hold on. No. We want to make red mana using some other color and then tap for red. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Cast Niv Mizzet, and I'm just going to pass the turn here. If my opponent has a God's Will and they can actually kill me here, which might have been a reason to play Willbender face down instead. Let's see if you have it, because they can God's Will and Fence and Ace and get in there. No, they don't have it. Sweet. So now I get to just start shooting things down, get Fence and Ace out of here. Yeah, no, I'm not going to activate. And here, I think it's almost impossible for my opponent to come back from this with me having this Willbender. So I'm going to play it, attack for 8, and eliminate the opponent. We'll be careful not to F6 because of Willbender. Yeah, we got it. That was a little risky going down to 2 off those Browbeats, but that's the disadvantage of Browbeat is your opponent can just Lava Axe themselves. All right, on to match 3, back in the finals. 3, 2, 1. All right, so we've actually got a pretty good keepable hand here. I am going to make sure I keep, play Arbor Elf on turn 1, and start casting some Morphs. Hopefully I don't get dismembered. Mana War is nice as well. Go ahead and cast this and pass. My hand's not super strong here, but it is fine. Yes, no dismember. That I like. These black decks tend to be quite aggressive, though. And that was a good draw for them. So I think we're going to go just face down Willbender here. I always mess this up, but we got it this time. If you've watched some of my videos where I have these like little tappy things, I always mess it up, like every single time. I always end up tapping like a force that's already tapped. If they attack here, I'm not blocking. Not even sure what combat tricks are in black. Also, no way I am mana warring a Dusk Legion Zealot. Mono black seems unlikely. Ooh, Vampire Lacerator. Plus Zulaport Cutthroats. These are good cards. Ooh, that's also quite good. Alright, go and play out Recruiter here. Go fetch some little dorky creature. Not sure what. I just don't feel like I need to mana war yet. I'm hoping my opponent just slams an aura on something. What do I want to get? Animar seems very good against this opponent. We're going to go ahead and get the protection from black creature. And look to trade off Imperial Recruiter for something. If Lacerator attacks, I'm not blocking. It's going to ding him a little bit of damage. My opponent's probably one of those decks that has like Fallen Angel or some of the sacrifice creatures. For Rexian Ghoul, I think, is the other one, which play out pretty nicely. I've kind of liked the way they play out in this format. I expect Lacerator to attack, but I expect the other two to stay back. If either of the other two attacks, I'm going to probably put Imperial Recruiter in front of it. Yeah, this is fine. Animar is going to be hard for my opponent to deal with unless they suddenly draw blue and go off. Yep, there's Phyrexian Ghoul. That's the type of card that can get you. Let's see here. I can cast Animar and hold up Accumulated Knowledge, which seems sweet. So, coming down. 1. Yeah, I want to hold up Arbor Elf plus Manowar. Ooh, I just realized how kind of cool that is. So, once Animar gets at least 2 counters on it, I can cast Manowar for 1 mana, bounce Manowar back to my hand, and just keep doing that to grow my Animar like IQ. It's basically like 1 blue mana, put a counter on Animar. Not that I think I'm going to end up actually doing that, but let's see what the opponent does. They might be mono black, which makes Animar just ridiculous against them. Ravenous Chupacabra, that's going to kill my Morph. It's going to make me a little bit sad. Oh, no, actually. Let's go ahead and... this is an opponent controls. Gross. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I can't make them kill one of their own creatures, but I can make them kill Imperial Recruiter instead. Might just be right to just let that happen. Man, Ravenous Chupacabra. Alright, so now I get to just redirect to... let's have him kill off my Imperial Recruiter instead. And I have a 1-2 on board, which blocks these 1-1s pretty nicely. So Animar can go ahead and... how much do I take if I... Like, how much possible could I take? 2, 4, 8, 10. Plus 4 is 14. Or I could double block Lacerator, which they just traded off here. The more damage I take, better they get overall. So, alright. I guess I'll force them to eat a creature here. They're going to eat Dusk Legion Zealot, but I get to soak up the 2 potential damage that'll deal later in the game with this Phyrexian Ghoul. So I'm going to take, I think, 3 total this turn. Yeah, they ate Dusk Legion Zealot. They get to eat my Willbender, which, you know, was going to happen anyway. Alright, accumulated knowledge for days. So we're going to go ahead and cast one of these, I think. Alright, drawing a bunch of islands. Let's see, I can cast Mana War just once. We are going to cast it, though. And don't want to bounce Ravenous Chupacabra. So we'll probably bounce just Phyrexian Ghoul. So the creature has the potential to deal the most damage. Could bounce this Cutthroat as well. Yeah, let's just get Phyrexian Ghoul back in your hand. And yeah, keep Animar on defense. Accumulated Knowledge hopefully draws me some gas here. We know one card of their hand. They have 4 others. And I think they missed a land draw. Oh, Cycle Shoreline Ranger. They are not mono black. They are blue black. Sure. And they have no good attacks here. They're trying to get me down below 10, I think. I really want to block this. I'm assuming they have a way to get it back from the graveyard, so I guess I could just eat both their creatures as well. Sure. I lose 2 off Zulport Cutthroat, but that's all fine. They let me do that. I think I'm just going to play Shoreline Ranger here. Oh, I can actually do both because Shoreline Ranger costs 1 less. So we're going to go ahead and cast Accumulated Knowledge first. Oh, that was not good. That was not good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, untap. Cast this thing. And still think I have to just pass back. I'm assuming my opponent's going to like unearth this Ravenous Chupacabra or something along those lines. Hence the weird attack last turn. Or zombify it. Guess unearth doesn't technically work. Death's Head Buzzard. All creatures get -1/-1 till end of turn. Alright, killing your own thing. I guess that's a flyer. It's kind of annoying. Oh, this is when it dies, right? So they can sack that at instant speed to kind of nuke my little creatures. I do like that Invoker. That was a pretty good draw. It costs 2 mana, 1/2, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana up. Is it time to start attacking with Animar? No, I'm gonna go ahead and just play this thing and pass. Then I can get really frisky next turn if nothing else changes. Drawing another Willbender would be sweet. Cycled something? Cycled Horror of the Broken Lands rather than play that. I guess it is just a big chunky creature that can't get through Animar. Let's see what our draw ends up being. We're at the point where our morphs are free. Our opponent's on 3 cards. Shown us a grand total of 1 blue card. They're probably splashing for something. Ooh, bizarre attack here. So I'm assuming if my opponent is trying to trade off Death's Head Buzzard that I can block this pretty freely. I think I'll make this block here. Alright, so sack into the Phyrexian Ghoul. Everything gets -1/-1. They kill off their own Cutthroat and my Arbor Elf, so glad I made that block. And then I just soak up all the damage. Okay. Cutthroat did quite a bit of work. Shoreline Ranger doesn't die. Oh, they sacked Phyrexian Ghoul to itself? Is there a Board Wrath or something coming down here that I'm not aware of? Living Death. Oh, gross. Oh, that's sick. Living Death. Oh, man. Alright, now we're in a lot of trouble. Alright, so my triggers... Oh, no. My opponent chooses first. Mine resolve first. What do we want to bounce, though? Oh, not Living Death. That was so sick. Could bounce itself. Oh, we're gonna lose this game for sure. All right, we got to bounce Cutthroat, I think, because my opponent could just drain me out, and then Imperial Recruiter might be able to get something here. Seems unlikely. This card is so good. So they're just playing that Cycler as a Cycler. None of this really matters. I'll get Fierce Empath. We're just literally dead on their next turn. So we're going to have to fog that card. This is an extremely powerful card if you build your deck around it, which my opponent has done so. And it is a way to kill Animar. Alright. Good game. Nicely done. What do we do about that? Curse Catcher doesn't seem very good there. Matches the Wheel seems exceptionally bad. Could just bring in more chunky creatures. Yeah, my deck is not super suited to that sort of a powerful card, which it is in fact a powerful card. We're just dirtling a lot. Curse Catcher, Retraction Helix doesn't seem too great. I mean, Balduvian Horde seems better when they're setting up the graveyard. I can set up my graveyard too, but it's also not a card I really want to reanimate. Magus of the Wheel could be good against a Live and Death type deck. So could just these chunky creatures. I don't think this is going to come down to Mystic of the Hidden Way getting in there. This is going to come down to me just fogging a thing. Kind of like Matches of the Wheel. And yeah. Alright. Alright. So we got to be a little bit faster, I think. Ooh. Put it to the test. I'll keep. Animar is that good against them, even though I have to draw perfectly for Animar to work out. Wouldn't mind drawing the little Forest Cycler, dude. Alright, no Vampire Lacerator. No early damage. Yes. Oops. Myriad Landscape will get us close. Kind of interested in what... I probably just have to fetch up Forest with that. Cycle Horror of the Broken Lands. Alright, they're already going off. Here comes Zealots. Accumulated Knowledge is fine, but I'm going to crack Landscape. Another Zealot. Well, these aren't the worst things that my opponent could be playing right now. Really like my opponent's deck. They did not attack, so skip through combat, I think. Here, it's very tempting to get double red. Because I'm more likely to draw Forest than I am Mountain. But I also have green cards I can cast, so that might be wrong. What is Fierce Empath going to get me? Woolly Loxodon? I'd love to get Niv Mizzet. I'm going to get Forest. Or I'm going to get Mountain. Alright, Loxodon. So I can play... Well, I don't really want to play Mana War, to be honest. So I'll play a Morph and cast Accumulated Knowledge. Can hold a Bolt if that's what I decide it needs to be done. I like my opponent's deck because they can win with Live and Death, but they also have the tools to just win a normal game anyway. Like with this little guy. Lightning Bolting that doesn't do too much. Alright, cycle Accumulated Knowledge into Arbor Elf. Alright, sure. Deck is punishing me by drawing literally the third mountain instead of any forest. But that's fine. I made that play. I knew what I was getting into. I'm going to go ahead and cast Mana War, bounce in Phyrexian Ghoul. And pass. Yep. Sure. I guess if I'm drawing green cards, I'd rather that they're morph creatures I can play face down. My opponent's on 7 cards still. Shadow Mage Infiltrator. Didn't realize this was in the set, and it's uncommon. Neat. And my opponent gets to free roll an attack here, I think. I'm going to go ahead and bolt Shadow Mage Infiltrator. Don't really want to get my opponent drawing a bunch of extra cards when they're already pretty far ahead. Blue Elemental Blast. Sure. Murder of Crows is a good draw. I guess my opponent's that were. Oh, I guess Blue Elemental Blast does deal with Animar. So that makes sense. My opponent's going to be drawing 2 cards per turn now, though. I can't block it. Fear is specifically black creatures. If it was Intimidate, I could block it. And Morphs cannot block fear creatures. So I'm not sure how I'm winning this game. Blood Hunter Bats? Alright. Another Murder of Crows. Well, that makes me feel better about just jamming this Murder of Crows. Alright, gotta beat my 2 opponents 2 cards per hand and Gigantic Phyrexian Ghoul. Even if I draw Force, it's not that great. Yeah, take it. I need to draw like some accumulated knowledges here and try to keep pace with my opponent's deck here. Another Phyrexian Ghoul. Oh, that was not a good draw. Alright, well, we're going to attack with the murders. Uh oh. Oh no, just that actually works out nicely for me. These loots should be pretty good. Absolutely. Oh, Imperial Recruiter seems good. I guess I can pitch Arbor Elf. And I'm going to keep that. So, what's good here? What's not good? Imperial Recruiter gets the little guys. Fierce Empath gets the big guys. Niv Mizzet seems like what I want. Although I can't cast this Fierce Empath, so I think I'm just going to dump that. Although I'm going to cast an Accumulated Knowledge and look at 3 new cards by next turn. It is my turn. I think my opponent's on the Live and Death plan here. So what I might do here is discard Animar in case my opponent does go for Live and Death. It's in the graveyard. But it's also just like if I cast this and get it big enough, it can go through my opponent's creatures. So I think I'm going to pitch Animar, which seems very clunky, right? Still my turn. I'm going to go ahead and cast Accumulated Knowledge. Draw 2. Prophetic Prism is fine. Then I can go land Imperial Recruiter. Or I guess Fierce Empath for Niv Mizzet. So cast Prophetic Prism. Alright, Forest. So now I can just play that. Play Fierce Empath. Go get Niv Mizzet. Yes. Yep. And pass the turn. Opponent cycled Street Wraith. Took 2 to do so. Alright, go and get hit by this Shadow Mage Infiltrator. You know what actually would end up killing me this game is I like getting these creatures in the graveyard. They help me loot. They make my opponent's live and death worse. Um, what my opponent could do to just like destroy me here is that Dirge card, the one that makes everything have fear until end of turn. Just gonna discard lands. And how many? I'm gonna loot Flooded Grove away. Oh, Magus of the Wheel. I don't really love that. I do like getting more creatures in my graveyard here, though. Although Magus of the Wheel Niv Mizzet is a combo, right? That would require a good bit of mana. I think I can get rid of Imperial Recruiter now and just stop looting. My opponent could draw like Ravenous Chupacabra here and try to kill me with these Phyrexian Ghouls. Mesmeric Fiends does what? It takes non-lands. Alright, so they're going to get my Niv Mizzet. I have already used my Lightning Bolt, but I still have a Retraction Helix. Oh, they can sack this in response to the trigger. Oh, they didn't, though. I was going to say, they can sack it in response to the trigger, and then I permanently lose my Niv Mizzet. Alright. Attack for 8 in the air again, and just play. I have 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. Just play Magus of the Wheel, I suppose. Or I could play Elvish Aberration. Um, I'm going to play Magus of the Wheel. My opponent knows my hand. Alright, so I need to get one more Murder of Crows in. Diabolic Edict. Sure. That's fine. I will sacrifice, I guess, one of the Loxodons. And I will loot. Ire Shaman seems fine here. Just pitch an island. Loot again. Pitch a forest. Alright, opponent has to kill me this turn or play a flyer and a Murder of Crows. They're going to have 4 cards to do so. Yep, this attack makes sense. So we will block as such. This requires some sacrifices from them to not lose their creatures. And they don't really want to sacrifice Mesmeric Fiend, I don't think. I am not going to loot this time. I should, though, with them having whatchamacallit. Yeah, let's go ahead and loot away Elvish Aberration. They're letting the other one get eaten. Nice. I'm not, because I'm going to draw 3 cards here. Just going to say no, 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 and they need to find something off this Shadow Mage Infiltrator. I could actually die to my own Magus. Unearth, bringing back Dusk Legion Zealot. Alright, so they're digging. They're down to 1 now. Alright, cool. So we get to continue playing. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, I didn't bring in Retraction Helix. So that's not actually that good. Did Inox Survivalist look any better that game? This stupid Shadow Mage Infiltrator is a problem. Not that there's a lot I can do about it. I can bring in Primal Clay against just that card, but Primal Clay, not very good on its own, right? I mean, I guess this coming down as a 3/3 is not the worst thing in the world. These Loxodons, I mean, the Loxodons seem fine just against Live and Death in general. I kind of want the Retraction Helix, to be honest. Just another interactive card, especially against things like Mesmeric Fiend. But I don't really want to lose anything. I forgot I had Brainstorm in my deck. Alright, Retraction Helix staying out. We're just going to run it back as it is and hope that that's enough. Knowing that our opponent brought in Blue Elemental Blast against Animar. I like this with the Accumulated Knowledge, the Force Cycler if I need it, so sure. Oh, my opponent does have the Lacerator draw here. So we're going to take a bunch of damage early on. If I draw a Mountain, I might just play Ire Shaman face up. Oh, 2-drop as well? No, no 2-drop. Niv Mizzet, not quite what I wanted to see there. I think I'm going to Accumulated Knowledge and hope to hit a land. I wish this was a Mountain Cycler so bad, but it's not, so yeah, we'll just go ahead and pass and Accumulated Knowledge on end step. Might be correct to actually Forest Cycle. Yeah, I think I'm going to Forest Cycle. That just guarantees that I hit a third land, and I can play at least a Morph to try and trade for Vampire Lacerator. Otherwise, I'm consigning myself to take more damage. Best draw, of course, would be a Mountain. Alright, here comes... Oh, Undead Gladiator. I forgot that was a card. Alright, we're going to go ahead and Forest Cycle. I'll get that Force. Oh, not good, not good. Alright, this is probably the most expendable Morph on account of... I'm going to just be trading it off anyway. Probably blocking Lacerator and taking the hit from Undead Gladiator. Opponent just follow up with more action here. I'm going to fall behind very quickly if I don't just hit lands here. Ooh, they didn't play anything, though. That's good for me. And I did hit a land. So what I can do here is cast Accumulated Knowledge, just digging for stuff. And then I could play a Willbender face up to trade for Undead Gladiator. I'm fine with them discarding a card to get this Gladiator back. So I think that's what I'm going to do is just... Oh, I would need an island, though, specifically. Ooh, maybe I can afford to take 3 and just cast Accumulated Knowledge anyway. I'd get pretty lucky off this knowledge here. If my opponent had Ravenous Chupacabra, they would have played it last turn. Alright, what I'm going to do is go ahead and just cast this face down, I think, and look to trade it off. Because I'd be fine with my opponent using a card from their hand to get this back. Especially when they didn't play anything last turn. I don't know, it's kind of dicey with us having some of our more expensive and uncastable cards in our hand. Let's take the hit this turn. Going down to 10 is not where I want to be against this deck, but it's what I'm going to do. Oh, Horror of the Broken Lands. Oh, no. Alright, now I'm going to go Accumulated Knowledge, hope to just hit a land. Flooded Grove is, in fact, a land. So do I keep up the Morph, or do I just... Yeah, I'm going to just cast this face down. Now we're in a very bad spot. Horror of the Broken Lands is going to be hard for us to deal with. I mean, I could go for a double block on it. If they have anything that cycles or discards, then I'm in trouble. Kind of feel like I kind of have to go for it here. And just hope they don't have anything that cycles or discards. Because it gets +1 toughness when they discard. Alright, so we traded that off. That's fine. I'm at 7, though, with this stupid Cutthroat out. Murder of Crow is going to go ahead and come down now. and Myriad Landscape, and I'll just have to pass from there and hope that this 4/4 is enough. Gross. I'm going down to 2 against the Zulport Cutthroat. I literally can't actually do anything about that, can I? If I block Cutthroat, I die. If I block this, I take 1 and I die. Oh man, we really got screwed this time. God, that sucks. We have Animar in hand too, and at the point where we can start casting our spells. Nope, we bricked on that land the 1 turn, and it hurt us. Cutthroat closes out the game. Well, let's just play it out anyway, right? Make them do it. And they have Diabolic Edict. Yep, they can just jam with both creatures here. Oh, they're going to go... They have Chupacabra? No, they have something else, so... I mean, attack with both, right? Oh, they didn't see the line. Oh, does that give us an out here? I mean, I have a bunch of uncastable cards in my hand. Kraken Myriad Landscape doesn't let me actually cast my spells, so let's do this. Draw 2 cards. Prophetic Prism, Shoreline Ranger. That doesn't help. I need to hit a 2-drop. They could have killed me last turn. Oh, Arbor Elf is the chumps. Surely they see it this turn. I mean, I have no real blocks. Ah, gross. All right, they missed it last turn, but they got it this turn. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Cutthroat wins the day. And that's what you get for playing a greedy mana mace. But we made it to the finals again. Yep. Yeah, I'll draw discard. It doesn't actually matter. Mana War would have been pretty sweet. Nope, just too slow to make it matter here. It's just a shame. I had the tools to make it work. But, well, we made our prize support back. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That was really fun. We went off in match 1. We struggled through match 2. And match 3, unfortunately, got color screwed. Got a little bit mana screwed. Same thing that happened in the finals of the last match. And even though I thought we were going to lose game 2 in that final match, we managed to win that one and just got kind of boned in the last one. Opponent's deck was good, though. Pretty sweet deck. And, yeah, that's going to go ahead and do it for us here. I hope you guys enjoyed the double dose of Masters 25. A lot of cool things you can do in this format. And as always, my name's Timothy. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see y'all next time.